Hello everyone. Very good evening, good afternoon or good evening. It's 4 o'clock. Anything you can take, okay? Yes. How are you all? Fine? Tired with the classes or what? No. So how was your accounts class? 2 hours of accounts class. It was good? Okay, so we had completed elements of company law and today we will start elements of law of contracts. Fine? Online buddies, join soon. If you want to take the benefit of these classes where we are taking completely free of cost, complete lecture in English and each and everything we are covering in detail with the quiz for my subject. Okay. So, Vadakam, Namaskaram, Namaskara, Namaste. This is CS Aarti Panigrahi, your mentor for the business law and management. I am directly live from the heritage city, Mysuru. Yes. So, today the weather is sunny or what? Yes. Not cloudy, no? What? Okay. Yes. Yes. So, guys, law of contract, elements of law of contract is a very important chapter. Not that lengthy, but yes, it's lengthy one. And the concepts are, these are the general principle, which is very important to understand if you wanted to understand the law. Everybody should understand the law of contracts, which you are going to see in the practicality when you are working for any corporate, when you are doing your own businesses. Okay, so being a professional, though, you should though compulsory know, but apart from you, the people who are doing the businesses and all, they should aware about this. So being a professional, when you are going to guide the business houses, so you are going to guide the ventures, it is very necessary to understand contract of law of contracts. Okay, elements of law of contract. Okay, so let's start meaning and nature of contract, guys. Okay, agreement everybody knows. Now agreement is, agreement and the contract. So what is the difference in agreement and contract? That all we are going to see. Aarti ma'am, you teach, why you are asking us? Okay, let's start. So the law relating to contracts of in India is primarily governed by the Indian Contract Act 1872. First of all, you have to remember the year of Contract Act. What is that? 1872, which came into force on 1st September 1872. Okay, guys. 1st September 1872. The preamble of the Act states that it is an act to define and amend certain parts of the law relating to the contract. Now tell me, they can ask you this in MCQ, to define and amend certain parts of the law relating to contract. Who is saying that? Your preamble is saying. What is the meaning of preamble, guys? What is the meaning of preamble? You had heard, no? Preamble of Constitution. Yes, what is that? What is the purpose? What is the philosophy? Yes? Yes, that is the introductory part. Are you getting? Preamble is the introductory part, the motive, the purpose. Okay? So why this act we are making? Okay, so the preamble of the act states that it is an act to define and amend. What is amendment? Changes. So if you wanted to bring any kind of changes in certain parts of the law, okay, so preamble is to define and amend certain parts of the law relating to contract. The act lays down the fundamental principle governing contracts and serve as the foundation. It is the fundamental principle and foundation of the contractual relationship in India. Whenever people comes in the contract, any kind of contractual relationship, when somebody is promising something, somebody is accepting something, that is called the contract, what we are going to see further. And there is there are some duties and obligation. Okay, some duties and obligation. So this is the foundation of that contractual relationship. Okay, however, the Indian Contract Act is not exhaustive. It is not covering everything. Exhausting means there is no scope for addition. Okay, when you used to say, no, I'm too much exhausted, means what? I don't have any energy to do anything else, right? So this Contract Act is not exhaustive. It is not that there is no other scope to, or everything is inside it. Are you getting? Yes. So it does not deal with every type of contract. Certain specific categories of contracts such as partnership, sales of goods, negotiable instrument, insurance and other are governed by the separate statutes, separate act. Okay, the act mainly provide, this is very very important, what it providing is general principles that apply to contracts irrespective of their nature. If in the sales of goods also you are making any contract, from where general principle you will follow from the contract law of contract act 1872. So it is the general principles, wherever the contractual relationship will be there you are going to learn in this, these principles should be there. Are you getting? These principles should be there. So that is called the general principles that apply to the contract irrespective of their nature. The act is broadly divided into two parts. First part, sections 1 to 75. This part contains the general principle of contract law. These provisions apply to all contracts, deal with matters such as, so this general principles of contract law is dealing with the matters like offer. If somebody is giving offer, somebody is accepting, there will be a consideration, then we will see who are the parties who are doing the contract, capacity of parties, then whether this contract is with the free consent or forceful consent. Are you getting? If somebody will come to you and they will say, they will put the gun on your head and they will say, sign this document, whether this is free consent, whether that contract is for the free consent, no, it is called coercion, forceful. Okay, so free consent, legality of object, performance means if you had proposed something, are you performing or not? Legality of the object, whether your object is legal or not, you are doing legal things or unlawful. Let's start a business, let's have a contract to make pistols without license, whether it is a lawful object, no. Then breach is what, guys? When you are violating or breaking the rules, violating the terms and condition. And remedies, what is the meaning of remedy? What is the meaning of remedies? Remedies what, guys? What is remedy? Solutions. Okay, or any kind of solution in the form of compensation. Yeah, in this we will see compensation, fine. These all things we are going to see. So section 1 to 75 is dealing with the general principle in the matter of what, guys? Offer, acceptance, consideration, capacity of the parties, free consent, legality of object, performance, breach and remedies. These all things you are going to see in the law of contract. Okay, now second part, sections 124 to 238. This part deals with the certain special contracts such as contracts of indemnity and guarantee. Anybody is having any idea about the indemnity? These all things we are going to see separately and in too much detail. What is indemnity? You know guarantee. Guarantee, you know, availment and pledge. Agency. What is agency? At least this, so you know, guys. Yes. What is agency? Agency, agent and principal, you know or not? Agent and principal. If the agent is doing any work on behalf of the principal, so who is liable? Principal is liable. That is called the agency. You guys are tired or what? Very good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Awake. Yes. ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? You wanted to roam only, right? That's right. You are lazy people. You wanted to go outside. Yeah? Huh? What? Why? Why? ಯಾಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು? ಯಾಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಾ? Huh? Due to some work? Oh my God. Busy? You guys were busy. Oh my God. Happy to hear this. Before becoming CS, you guys are busy. Somebody call Neha. There's a requirement of putting charger. Okay. We need charger. Okay, guys. So bailment and pledge agency. Second part, first part. This is not charged. It's gone. It's gone. It was showing the battery is low.
It is going to light.
Okay. Do it. Okay, okay. Back to the topic, guys. What is a contract? Section 2, Clause H of the Indian Contract Act defines a contract as an agreement enforceable by law. What is the enforceability? What is the enforceability, guys? Yes? Enforceability is what? Agreement, you know, anybody can make an agreement. Let's go for the movie 1 week. Every Saturday, in a month you are making a contract with your friend. We will go Saturday, every Saturday we'll go for movie. Now your friend is not joining you. क्योंकि तो तुम्हारा friend तुम्हारे जैसा busy है. वेल्ला नहीं है तुम्हारे जैसा. Okay. हाँ. Okay. Then you guys, can you go to the court and ask to the court to give some punishment to that fellow? No. Okay. So court will say he is a good fellow, he is not coming with you. He is preparing for the CSEET 2026 October exam. Okay. So now what I am saying, guys, if there is an agreement and there will be a backup of legality, means if you can take the help of the court. If say suppose two people are in the contract and one people is not, that person is denying the terms and condition, he is not following the terms and condition, and because of his act, if you are getting any kind of damages or any kind of losses, you can go to the court and you can ask for the help, and court will give the decision that this person have to pay the remedies you will get from the courts. This person have to pay such amount as a compensation or any kind of fine or penalty the court will give. Okay, are you getting? So that I am saying, guys. Hello, Neeru Chaudhary. Neeru Chaudhary, hi. From which place you are, Neeru Chaudhary? Yes, happy to have you here. I think not from South. You can mention in the chat box from which place you are. Okay, guys. So what I was saying, what is the enforceability of the law? Means the interference of the court. Are you getting? Interference of the court. Court will interfere in your matter. Manish Nigam. Hello, Manish. Okay. Hi, Manish. So we are doing the law of contract. You guys can also participate in the answer if you wish. Okay. And if I'm explaining any concept and you are getting it completely, you can mention in the chat box USD means understood. Yes. So what I'm saying, guys, agreement is a thing where there is no help of the court, intervention of the court. But when it is becoming a contract, then you can take the help of the court if anybody is cheating you in that contract and anybody is denying or violating the terms and condition of the contract. Okay. Yes. Then from this definition, it is clear that every contract contains two essential elements: an agreement and legal enforceability, means obligation recognized by law. Means if court will say to pay the compensation, means that will become the obligation and it is recognized by law. So thus a contract is formed only when an agreement creates legal right and obligation. What I said, there will be parties and they will have some legal rights and some legal obligation too. So the contract is formed only when an agreement, when an plain agreement you can do at a plain piece of paper by putting your name and all. but there will be no legal help in that. So that agreement creates legal rights and obligation that can be enforced through court of the law. Then we used to say it is the contract. So contract equal to agreement plus legal obligation. Are you clear in this? A very, very basic thing, contract and agreement. Done? Yes. Next example. A orally agrees to supply goods to B. B agrees to pay the price for those goods. This is just an agreement because there is mutual understanding between the parties. If all legal requirements are fulfilled, this agreement becomes the contract. If there will be stamp duty and all, if you are paying any on the stamp paper, you are making the contract, then it will be considered as legal. It is just on a piece of paper, you are writing some terms and condition. Like orally A had said that I will supply to goods and B agreed to pay the price for that. That is not the contract. Okay, that is just an agreement. Okay. Then agreement, an agreement is the foundation of every contract. Before entering into contract, what you have to make? A simple agreement. Any documentation you are doing, any name and terms and condition you are putting, that is an agreement. When you are taking the help of law, then it will become the contract. Yes. So agreement is the foundation of every contract. Section 2 clause E of Indian Contract Act provides every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other is an agreement. How? What will be the promise and all? Every set of promises, suppose A is giving an offer, it is explained further with books only we'll go. So every promise and set of promises. So before that you have to see what is the meaning of promise. We'll see what is promise. Therefore an agreement is based on a promise. What is a promise? According to section 2 clause B, when the person to whom the proposal is made, say suppose A is giving a proposal to B, okay? When the person to whom the proposal is made, to whom proposal is made for B, is made signifies his assent. If he is telling to this proposal, yes, means B is, proposal is made to whom? B, and B is signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted. A had made a proposal to B and B had accepted it. Are you getting? Now A had made a proposal and B accepted. Now from A it become the promise. In a contract, if you had given a proposal and somebody had accepted it, till the time they are not accepting, it is not a contract. Are you getting? But once you accepted, then it will become a contract. Okay? And that further you will see some more elements they will add. You accepted and it should reach to the proposer, the one who had given the proposal. Okay, then it will become a contract. Right now we are seeing the promise. What is promise? So promise is somebody had given the proposal and somebody had given the assent. Assent means what, guys? Yes. So the proposal is said to be accepted. A proposal when accepted, it becomes a promise. So the promise, the process can be understood as follows. Proposal or offer plus acceptance become the promise. When promises form consideration for each other, an agreement comes into existence. Are you getting this? A had promised to, say suppose A said that I'll give you 100 units of bulb. To whom? To B. Okay. And B said, I'll pay you 1000 rupees. Okay. I'll pay you 1000 rupees. So what A had promised? 100 units of bulb. And what B have promised? 1000. Okay. So now for A, what is the meaning of consideration? Something in return. Consideration is what? Something in return. So now A is giving bulb. So what B is giving? 1000 rupees. That is the consideration. Now A is giving bulb. For B, what is the consideration? 100 unit of bulb. So they both are giving the consideration to each other. So when promises form consideration for each other, an agreement comes into existence. Therefore, agreement equal to offer plus acceptance. In simple words, an agreement arises when one party makes an offer and the other party accept it. When one party makes an offer and other party accept it. Okay, yes. Classification of contracts and agreement. Now we will see the contract and agreement. So contracts may be classified on the basis of enforceability, formation and performance. Classification on the basis of enforceability. The contract. A contract is an agreement. First of all, though, it is the foundation. Foundation is what? Agreement. To make a contract, what is a foundation? Agreement. A contract is an agreement. Then what will add in there, guys? Enforceability. So the agreement that is enforceable by law, when agreement satisfies all the essential element prescribed under law, it becomes a valid contract. Under section 10, we are going to see elements of contract under section 10. So when all the essential element of the contract will present in a agreement, then it will become the contract. Okay. So an agreement enforceable by law, when agreement plus all essential element of contract, it will become a contract. Okay, because agreement is the foundation of contract. Okay, it will become a valid. If all the essential elements will be there, then it will become the valid. If all the essential will not be there, then it will become the void contract. Void is what? Void contract. Void is what? Invalid contract. Okay. And creates, and when it will become the contract, it will create what, guys? It will create right and obligation. Which kind of right and obligation, guys? Which kind of right and obligation? Legal rights and obligation. Which creates legal right and obligation? Contract or agreement? Contract. Okay. Yes. So see this example. X offers to supply 10 bags of rice to Y. For how much rupees? 50,000. And Y accepts the offer. Okay. Offer plus acceptance. This constitute a valid contract. Offer plus acceptance becomes the promise and each other's promise become the contract. Okay. So what is the void agreement? Further we will see the void contract also. Right now we are seeing only void agreement. So valid, you had seen valid contract. What is the valid contract? Here we had seen when agreement plus all the essential of contract will be there, it will be a valid contract. Now we are going to see the void agreement. According to section 2 clause G, an agreement not enforceable by law is said to be void. There will be no backup of the law. You cannot take the interventions of the courts. It means it will be a invalid agreement. Okay. So an agreement not enforceable by law is said to be void. What is that word? Void. Void is what? Invalid. Okay. Void is what? Invalid. And there is no enforceability of law. A void agreement creates no legal right. When there is no enforceability of law, then there will be no legal right and no legal obligation. Yes. So a void agreement creates no legal rights and obligation. It lacks one or more essential elements required for a valid contract and is void from very beginning. Void ab initio. What is the meaning of void ab initio, guys? Means invalid from the beginning only. Invalid from the beginning. Void ab initio is what? Invalid from the very beginning. Okay. So it is invalid from the very beginning. You cannot say, like as I told you, let's do a agreement or contract to do the smuggling. It is void ab initio. Are you getting? It is void ab initio. This kind of agreement and contract are invalid from the beginning. Are you getting? Yes. Example, X enters into an agreement with Y, a miner, for the supply of 100 bags of rice. It fails to supply the goods. X cannot sue Why? Because the minor is incompetent to contract, hence the agreement is void. So with the minor, if you are doing a contract, it is a void agreement or void contract, because minor is not having a capacity to contract. Minor, before the age of 18, you cannot enter into the contract. Further, we will see in some circumstances minor can enter into contract for the benefit, only for the benefit, not for the obligation. Okay, but in the basic general thing, minor cannot enter into the contract because he is not having the capacity to make a contract. Okay, what? So this we had seen the void agreement. Now you will see the voidable contract. Voidable is what, guys? Section 2 clause I defines a voidable contract as, this you have to understand, an agreement which is enforceable by law at the option of one or more parties thereto, but not at the option of the other or other. Ma'am, कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया. Let's see. First you see the example. A threatens B with death unless B sells his land for the 1 lakh rupees. What is the example? A is threatening B with death unless B sells his land for the 1 lakh rupees. Now B agrees due to fear, since consent was obtained through coercion. Coercion is what? Forcefully, okay, with the threat. Now what happened? A had threatened to B and B got ready to sell the land in 1 lakh rupees, okay, with the fear. It is not a free consent. It is not at all a free consent. So since consent was obtained through the forcefully or with the threat, now B may either accept or reject the contract. Hence it is voidable contract. Are you getting? Now guys, B went to the court that he had forcefully taken sign for 1 lakh rupees on the threat of my life. Okay. So now court is telling to B, do you want to resign this contract? You want to and bringing to end to this contract, or you want to continue? Now B will tell that I don't want to continue this contract. So say suppose B had signed that contract. Now tell me guys, the contract paper is there. B had signed that contract. So the sign is there. It means it is a valid contract. So it seems, you can see that it is a valid thing. But later on we are getting that it is because of the threat and because of the forceful signature. It means who is having option to accept or reject? Who is having option to accept or reject? A or B? B. B is having option to accept or reject. So we used to call that B is aggrieved party. What is the meaning of aggrieved? The one who had suffered the losses, suffered the damages. Are you getting? Aggrieved party means what? Who had suffered the losses or damages. That party is called the aggrieved party, innocent party. Okay, yes. So it initially it was looking that it is a valid contract because A and B both had signed, but later on we get to know that it was the forceful sign and B was not ready. He is feeling his land, he is asking, A is asking only for 1 lakh rupees. He is not ready to give it in for the 1 lakh rupees. So it was, the B is the aggrieved party. Now court will ask to whom? To the aggrieved party. At the option of the aggrieved party, it can be valid or it can be invalid. If B will say it's okay, my land is not that fertile, it is okay, I will sell it for the 1 lakh rupees, it will become a valid contract. Are you getting? Are you getting? So that's why let's read the provision. Section 2 clause I defines a voidable contract as an agreement which is enforceable by, you can see that enforceability of law is there, at the option of one or more parties thereto, but not at the option of other or others. So for that you have to take the help of these lines to understand. Already you understood the concept, no? Now in such contracts, one party has the right either to say yes or no. Now you are getting this voidable. In such contracts, one party has the right either to say yes to the contract or to no to the contract, rejected. It means who is that party? B. Okay. Until it is resigned by the aggrieved party, the contract remains valid and enforceable. So till the time B is not resigning means bringing to the end. If B is not bringing to the end, it is called a valid contract and it is enforceable also. But the moment we will say no, then it will become the voidable. USD or not? Yes, online buddies. You can also write there. Do you have any doubt in this, or anybody? You have any doubt in this? Please ask me and make it very clear. You student used to confuse in this concept. Take a time, take a 30-second, 1 minute, and try to understand this. Now, one more example I'll take. Say suppose Ranjita, your name is Ranjita, right? So Ranjita and Sonika, you guys are coming to a contract. Now, Ranjita had put 1 lakh capital. Anybody else wanted to come in contract? What is the discussion? Hemant, you wanted to come to contract? Okay, no. Okay, fine. So Ranjita is putting 1 lakh rupees in that business. And Sonika said, Ranjita and Sonika are friends. Now Sonika said, I will put 1 lakh capital after 3 months. You only give that. So she took the loan of 1 lakh rupees and she put in this business. Now Ranjita is paying interest to the bank. Are you getting? Ranjita is paying interest to the bank. And Sonika, after 3 months also, Sonika is not putting 1 lakh capital. Now she is asking for another 3 months. So Ranjita had given the another 3 months also. But now Ranjita had paid huge interest to the bank. Now Ranjita is fed up with the Sonika and she is telling, I don't even want your friendship. Udhar interest pay karna pad raha hai, bhaad mein jaye tumhari dosti. Okay. So Ranjita is telling that friendship is a separate part. You want to do it now or not, or you have to pay the interest amount also. So who is the aggrieved party here? Sonika or Ranjita? Who is suffering here? Ranjita. Yes, Ranjita. Ma'am, why I am aggrieved party? Okay, next time we will make Shashi. Okay, fine. So Ranjita is the aggrieved one, and Ranjita is telling that now at the option of Ranjita, this can be valid or voidable. Okay, valid or invalid. Now Ranjita will tell, Sonika will tell, Arey, I am your friend from the CSEET, CS executive also will do together. So why you are telling like this? I'll pay you now 1 lakh rupees. What is that? So Ranjita is telling, again she came in the trap, lovely trap. Now Ranjita said, okay, I don't want to make it invalid. Now she wanted to continue this. So till the time Ranjita is not residing this contract, it is valid and enforceable. So USD or not? Yes, everyone. Who came? Okay. Guys, if you are watching the lecture, let me know, are you getting the concept or not, USD or not? Or if you have any doubt, I think after these 2 examples, there is no further explanation required. Let's move to the void contract, guys. So voidable is very, very important. You have to see who is the agreed party, at whose option court will take the decision to make this contract valid or invalid. Okay. So now void contract is what? Section 2 clause J states void andre invalid. Void means invalid. So a contract which ceases to be enforceable by law becomes void when it ceases to be enforceable. So a void contract is initially valid. It looks like it is a valid contract and enforceable though, but due to some subsequent event, it becomes impossible or unlawful to perform. What is the example they had given here? X, a famous singer, contracts to record an album for a music company. X, a famous singer, made a contract that I will record an album for a music company. Before performance, X suffers from throat cancer. Now how he will perform? Okay, so something happened there which was not predicted earlier. So and is medically prohibited from singing. The contract becomes void due to impossibility of the, star mark this point, impossibility of the, yes, hi Prakriti, hello, impossibility of the performance, guys. means who is not able to perform? Who is not able to perform? X is not able to perform, and impossibility of the performance means the performance should be possible. It is also an element of contract. So this contract was earlier valid, now it become invalid. But it, yes, unenforceable contract is what, guys? Unenforceable. An unenforceable contract is one that is valid in substance but cannot be enforced. It looks like it is valid, but you are not able to bring the enforceability because of some technical defect or failure to comply with the legal formality. That's why it is not enforceable. You are not capable of comply the legal formalities. Once the defect is rectified, when you will comply? If rectification is what? Correcting something what was supposed to do, what was wrong. If it was supposed to do in a right way, you were not able to do, but later on if you had made it correct, that is called the, then contract will become the enforceable. So it is a valid contract, but enforceability was not there due to the legal formalities lacking. Okay, lacking of the legal formalities. When you are rectifying it, it will become a valid contract. Let's take this example, guys. A execute a promissory note without the required stamp duty. Initially, it is unenforceable. After proper stamping, it becomes enforceable. Mr. A had taken promissory note. One had taken a loan from other. So there will, the one who had taken the loan, he will give a promissory note that I had taken this much of money from you. After 3 months, I will repay you with the interest. So it was just a piece of paper agreement. Now, when they had paid the stamp duty, it will become the legal document and legal agreement. So now legal agreement becomes the contract. Okay. So due to what? This crux and concept you have to remember, guys. Unenforceability means what? We are talking about there will be some lacking of legal compliance. Are you getting? When it is become enforceable, when there will be the involvement of law, legality. Unenforceable means there will be no involvement of legality. There will be lacking of legality, legal formality. That's why it is unenforceable. So when they are adding this example, you can see when they are added the stamp duty, it will become the unenforceable too. Okay. So this is called the unenforceable contract. Next is what? Illegal agreement, guys. Illegal. Hello, Girish. Hello, Girish. We are coming to the end of this chapter, end of this session. Chapter. तो इतना जल्दी नहीं हो. It will take, I think, many lectures. So illegal agreement is, guys, what, guys? Illegal agreement. An agreement is illegal when its object or consideration is unlawful. What is unlawful? Which is not lawful. That is unlawful. Yes, illegal. Illegal, you know. Illegal, you know, everybody. So when let's do smuggle, make a contract like let's do smuggling, let's make pistol, we both will go and we'll make a contract to murder someone. है ना? मजा आ रहा है? मजा आ रहा है ना? Yes. 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 Hi, मयंक गुप्ता. मजा आ रहा है ना? अरे तुम इतना खुश हो रहे हो यार, ऐसे क्या करोगे रे तुम? ऐसे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में तुमको मजा आ रहा है? बॉयज मजा नहीं आ रहा है? तुम्हारे होश उड़ रहे हैं कि क्या होगा, है ना? आगे का सोच के एकदम ऐसे हंस रहे हो ना? हाँ, आगे आगे कैसे हमारी बैंड बजेगी? That's why you are laughing. Okay, so illegal agreement. An agreement is illegal when its object. Try to understand. This is the object. Let's go murder, make a pistol without license. Let's do smuggling. These objects, purpose of that business is unlawful and illegal, guys. Okay, or the consideration also. Two things are there: object and consideration. What is the meaning of consideration? Means we will do something good. Now, the law, the work is legal work, but the money involved is unlawful money. From smuggling, from black money, you are putting that money into the legal businesses. Are you getting? Two scenario can be. The object can be unlawful and illegal. Even the consideration can be unlawful and illegal. Are you getting? Yes, so there are two things. Object and consideration is unlawful. Such agreements are not only invalid but also prohibited by law. It is not allowed to make these kind of object and these kind of businesses. Okay, so an agreement is illegal if its object or consideration is, when an agreement is illegal, guys, when the object and consideration is forbidden by law. Prakriti is asking, ma'am, is the murder is done for the protection, then it is legal or illegal? Okay, yeah. So that is protection, self, for the self-help. In the case of rapes, there are many cases where the victim had done the murder because of the self-protection. So that the court will decide Prakriti, and by seeing all the circumstances, if the evidence is showing that it was completely for the self-help, then definitely murder is also not illegal. Yes. So an agreement is illegal if its object or consideration is forbidden by law. Forbidden means banned. Banned by law. Defeat the provision of any law. What does that mean? Defeat means the provision of law is telling something, but the object and consideration is defeating it. Means defeating is means they are against the provision of the law. Then it should the object and consideration is for the fraud, and it causes injury to a person or the property, and it is immoral. Immoral is what? That murder, these all things, you know that it is wrong, then also somebody is doing that, that is called the immoral act, and it's opposed to public policy. These all things will cover under the illegal act. Okay. Yes, Prakriti, hope I had answered your question. Yes, so example, X agrees to pay 1 lakh to Y for murdering Z. X agrees to pay 1 lakh to Y for murdering Z. Such an agreement is what, guys? Illegal. What is illegal here? Object. Object is illegal because it is forbidden by law and involves injury to another person. Okay. Yes. So nice. At least one types of agreement we had seen, and contract. Important distinction is what, guys? This is important. All illegal agreements are invalid. Anything which started with the illegal motive, it is invalid. Okay. So all illegal agreements are invalid because they are unenforceable by law. However, all void agreements are not illegal. All invalid agreements are not illegal. Invalid because of the lack of the essential element of the contract. That's why it can become invalid. But that doesn't mean invalid agreement will be the illegal. Illegal is something forbidden by law. If it is immoral, if it is causing injury to someone. But any kind of invalid contract is not illegal. All illegal are invalid, but all invalid contract are not illegal. This you can get the question, guys. Okay. So again, I am reading, all illegal agreements are invalid, void, because they are unenforceable by law. However, all void means invalid agreements are not illegal. A void agreement may merely lack of an essential element. Maybe there will be no legal compliances. That's why it is like stamp duty wala example. Like there is lack of compliances is not an illegal thing. It is not like a murder. Are you getting? So it is a lack of compliances. They will be rectify it. It will become the valid agreement. Okay. So whereas an illegal agreement involves an unlawful object or consideration. Okay. Yes. So this is all about of today's lecture. Tomorrow, after completion of a topic, in the next class, whenever I'll take tomorrow or day after tomorrow, then we will do the quiz. Okay. After taking two topics, 2 lectures, we'll take a quiz. In the next class, I will take. So go revise it and then come to the class. Okay. Thank you so much for the patience listening, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, online buddies. Please go and revise. If you had missed some topic, please go and see this lecture. Okay? Okay, guys.